Did you know that 1.5 billion people all over the world are highly sensitive? You may wonder what highly sensitive means. Let me show you something. Still showing. One more time. No. It didn't feel good, right? And that is what people who are called highly sensitive get to feel every day. About a year ago, I read a book that suddenly made me realize who I am after 30 years of struggling with being different from people around me. It was a book of an American psychologist, Elaine Aron, who published the results of her big research. And that is when I discovered an official term of highly sensitive person, or HSP, for people who perceive and process all the information, both within and around them, on a much deeper level. In other words, these people think and feel everything more intensely, and a reason for that is their genetics. So let's imagine a girl. Let's say her name is Anna, and she is highly sensitive. How do we know it? Well, she tends to be very emotional, and she expresses a lot of empathy for other people. However, she gets exhausted by being around people a lot and needs some alone time to recover. She usually avoids any stresses or conflicts, gets scared really easily, and can't stand loud noises. If you are in a restaurant and there is a person who has a bug on their plate but wouldn't return it because they don't want to argue with the waiter or make anyone feel uncomfortable, this is Anna. And yes, her friends and family asked her not to be so sensitive 1,000 times, and they would call her a crybaby or a drama queen all the time. And if you've ever experienced something like that, then probably you're an Anna. But we know that not all people are like that there are some who are much tougher, not so empathetic, and much less sensitive. So let's imagine another girl. Let's say her name is Maria, and she is the opposite of Anna. She's reserved, she has great control over her emotions, and she thinks that crying is something that mostly babies do. If you are in the movies watching horror, and there is a person who doesn't close their eyes during violent scenes and never makes because of all the loud noises and screaming, this is Maria. And if you have a friend or a partner or a child who is highly sensitive according to the science, but is a huge overthinker with weird reactions according to you, then we have a Maria-Anna situation here. And I know that because I am definitely an Anna. And my husband is definitely a Maria. And at the beginning of our relationship, we didn't understand each other, as if we were from different planets. People who don't have this trait of high sensitivity often see it as a weakness. They may believe that this is a poor choice of highly sensitive people to react the way they react and to feel the way they feel. But thanks to several big researches, today we know for sure that this is not a choice. In fact, it's nothing but genetics. Another problem is that highly sensitive people themselves think that they are weaker and less gifted in life than most of the people. Being an HSP myself all my life, I've been struggling with the idea that something is wrong with me. I work in a bank and my career there started in a sales department. I had good expertise in finance and I used to think that I love communicating with people, so I was sure that this was the right choice for me. Running around the city, meeting with business executives, negotiating and closing deals. And at first it wasn't so bad. I tried my hardest to do a great job, and I managed to do it quite successfully for some time. But at some point, I started to notice that not only did the quality of my work start to decrease, but my lifestyle and my mental condition were changing dramatically. I was almost depressed for a long time. I suddenly found myself sleeping for 3 hours at night and running out of the office during the day just to get some fresh air because sometimes I felt like I couldn't breathe. By the end of the week, I would feel so powerless and exhausted that the only way that I spent my weekends for a couple of years was to stay at home, do nothing, and talk to no one. Only after several years did I finally realize that it's not okay to live your life like this, especially when you are in your 20s. And it took me a lot of time and effort to understand that something was wrong, but not with me, but with my choice of the professional field. It just wasn't for me. I couldn't deal with all the stress coming from working with clients and being around people all the time. I tried to make every client happy because I couldn't even think of letting somebody down or having any conflict. And every time when I failed to do that, I felt like I disappointed everybody in the world and took full responsibility for everything that I possibly could. Everything started to change when I left sales department. I transferred to the back office and started working as an analyst. Now I didn't need to interact with people so much. I finally stopped trying to please everyone around me and didn't have to multitask anymore. As you can imagine, my inner Anna was happier than ever. I felt like I was born again on this planet and started to live a completely different life. Now, I'm a very productive employee who is eager to help other people as well. I found courage to tell my colleagues about my high sensitivity, and now they know that I don't work well under pressure and that I can complete all the tasks perfectly. I just need a little bit more time for that. And my husband and I, we also found a way of understanding each other. Now, when there is the smallest chance of misunderstanding, we sit and talk everything through right away, and I explain to him how I feel and why. And if I start to cry all of the sudden, he already knows that he just needs to give me some time and space to let my emotions go. Because crying is just my way of coping with them. This is how I realized that if a highly sensitive person puts themselves in a wrong circumstance and start doing things that don't suit them, they feel really weak and may start having real mental issues such as anxiety or depression. On the contrary, being used properly and in suitable conditions, high sensitivity may be a real superpower because it's not only about difficulties that go with that. It is also about having something truly beautiful in you. According to research, highly sensitive people tend to perceive emotions of others easily. They are extremely empathetic, super intuitive, and emotionally intelligent. And that makes them wonderful friends and partners and parents. And if we talk about a career path for highly sensitive people, their emotional intelligence and ability to connect with people help them shine in such professions as doctors, teachers, psychologists. According to the same studies, highly sensitive people also have such features as deep appreciation for arts, high creativity, and a strong analytical mind. So it lets them be excellent writers, designers, data scientists, and analysts. Of course, there are some fields that seem less suitable for them, fields involving a lot of stress, multitasking, and pressure, such as sales or public relations or entrepreneurship. But it doesn't mean that highly sensitive people cannot thrive there. Studies have shown that HSPs have more active brain work in the areas related to attention, action planning, and decision making. Simply put, they have a deep capacity to notice all the details, to see connections between things, and make thoughtful choices to bring great ideas to the table. So you see, even though sensitivity does come with its challenges, it's still a wonderful strength to have as an employee or even as a leader. All you need to do is to find the right place. So now we know that there are 1.5 billion ANAs in the world. It is 20% of our population. It means that if there are 50 people right here in this room, the 9 seats are taken by people with a deep sensitivity to the world around them. Why not 10? Because 10th is standing on the stage. And it also means that if there are 5 people in your family, then one of them is probably highly sensitive. And just imagine how many highly sensitive people are there in your team, in your class, in your community. High sensitivity is often misunderstood and misinterpreted. We have a hard time accepting it and see it as something that has to be overcome. In reality, sensitivity is a gift that can bring many benefits when it's properly understood and managed. So if you're an ANA, please remember, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly fine. Just stop beating yourself up and trying to fit in, because you're good enough already. And there's no need to run in a forest and live there and stop all the interactions with the world. You just have to accept your high sensitivity and find a place where you feel comfortable. You can be a real superhero. You can thrive and help other people thrive. And if you are Maria, you are great. You are super rational and strong. Just remember that somebody who is important to you may be highly sensitive and need your support and understanding. And if at some point in life you'll start thinking that somebody is overreacting or acting out all the time, let one thought appear in your mind. They are totally okay. They just may be highly sensitive. And even if I don't quite get it, I still can show compassion and be there for them. The bottom line is that people are not the same. And if we see someone acting differently, we can try to be kind and tolerant, or simply understanding. Thank you.